can you give us some insight into the conversations you had with Spencer Dinwiddie, for instance, before you came here, and then also with KD, and DeAndre, as far as building that all-star core? Thanks.
Uh, well, I definitely have unique relationships across the league. Just the respect I have for the different players and the different journeys that they've had to be NBA basketball players. So me and Spencer's relationship went far beyond the court itself. So we got a chance to know one another during All-Star Weekend, Los Angeles. We ended up hanging out. He won the Skills Challenge. Didn't really talk too much about any free agency or anything like that, but we had a relationship that we developed from then on. So it felt great. That was a core piece and really feeling comfortable here after free agency started. And then with Katie and DJ, it was 4:16 in the morning. Us just talking about our futures and how this opportunity ahead of us is something that we haven't had in our careers. The ability to make a choice, sitting down, actually talking in detail about the future and the investment we had in one another and the investment we wanted to have in Brooklyn. So it made sense all the way around, and then having the incredible people that they have in the organization made it that much easier. They made us feel like all-stars. They made us feel like we were supposed to be treated fairly, from the media component, from our teammates, from the first-class service that they give here, concierge, and most importantly for me was just the family atmosphere. They reached out to my family as soon as I committed, and it felt like they were very inclusive with everything that they had going on here, and it was just like a step away being away from home, and they made me feel as comfortable as I could, as well as reaching out to Katie and DJ, and as well as other guys on the team, to make sure that they know what's going on, that this is for the future. We're here to build. We're not saying we're a championship team right now. We're not going to say this is what it's going to be going forward. We're just here to observe one another, care for one another, and then be here to enjoy playing basketball. But first and foremost is our family. And I feel like sometimes that can get confused in this league about who we are as human beings. So I'm always going to be an advocate for that. And they are advocates is that we're humans first and then we're basketball players. So
Obviously, we don't know if KD or if he's going to play, when he's going to come back. What are your expectations for this first season in Brooklyn, not knowing about him?
I mean, I'm pretty sure that question is going to come up pretty frequently throughout the year. But even while he was injured, I made sure that he knows that he has our support 100%, that there isn't going to be any pressure from any of us at any time. And I will make sure of that because I've been in that same position of being the guy that's injured on the team and everyone looking like, are you going to come back anytime soon? If you come back, then this is going to be our championship caliber team. If you were playing, then this would happen. And naturally, I think you have to go inside the mind of a competitor and realize that a lot of people have responsibilities for why that ended up happening the way it happened on a national scale. We all know K was not ready to play in that environment. We all know that, whether people want to admit it or not. He was out 31 days, and we put him on a national stage on the finals to end up selling a product that came before the person Kevin. And now I'm here to protect that. I'm going to be a protector of that all throughout the year and not allowing anyone to infiltrate that circle of, hey, K, do you, get right, we'll be fine. We have expectations for our team. We obviously know he's an integral part, but we'll wait for that. I'm very patient. I'll be over-patient with Kevin because I don't want anything like that to happen to anyone again, especially on that type of stage where it happened and him having to answer questions about whether or not he's coming back or not. So I'm here to dispel it that you'll never hear me say he's coming back here or I think he's coming. I want him to be 101% healthy.
Kyrie, Adam Himmelsbach with the Boston Globe in the middle here. You alluded to it a little bit a minute ago, but can you kind of elaborate on the process like for you, obviously making that commitment in October, kind of saying you'd like to go back to Boston. Obviously things changed, and just kind of what changed for you over that time?
Well, I think around that time, it felt incredible in terms of the energy that we were building, especially for the future in Boston. It was something that I couldn't really explain at the time because, personally, I don't think I was acknowledging the things that were surrounding my life as well, and how to lead this group of guys that I've been traded to, that I wasn't drafted by Boston. I had no type of affiliation with Boston before I left Cleveland. There weren't any works anything that happened, Boston was a surprise team with Wick and Danny that took the chance on trading for me. And when they did, and the way our first season happened, and then also the way the end of the season happened, and having so much youth and so much exuberance and goals set personally, I think that some of the actual knowledge that needed to be had in terms of being a championship team takes more than just 2 years. It takes more than just an environment that you feel just comfortable in. Hey, you know, I think I want to re-sign here if you guys have me. Boston crowd was immense. It was crazy. They loved me in Boston. I loved the Boston fans. And then 2 weeks later, things just got really, really rocky for me in terms of when I left for, I believe you know, after the Phoenix game, I went to my grandfather's memorial, and he passed on October 23rd, and after he passed, basketball was the last thing on my mind. So a lot of basketball and the joy I had from it was sucked away from me, and there was a facial expression that I carried around with me throughout the year. Didn't allow anyone to get close to me in that instance, and it really bothered me. And I didn't take the necessary steps to get counseling or get therapy or anything to deal with someone that close to me dying. I've never dealt with anything like that. So for me, I responded in ways that are uncharacteristic. And like I said, I had to acknowledge that fact. And I had to acknowledge that fact to the organization first, because that was our internal bond and trust that we had. I talked to Danny. I wanted to re-sign. So throughout the year, it started becoming more and more clear that my relationships within my home life have way higher precedent than the organization or anyone. And I barely got a chance to talk to my grandfather before he passed from playing basketball. So you tell me if you would want to go to work every single day knowing that you just lost somebody close to you, doing a job every single day that everyone from the outside or anyone internally is protecting you for. Like, hey, just keep being a basketball player. So throughout that year, it just became rocky, and a lot of the battles that I thought I could battle through in the team environment, I just wasn't ready for. And I failed those guys in a sense that I didn't give them everything that I could have during that season, especially with the amount of pieces that we had. So my relationships with them personally were great, but in terms of me being a leader in that environment and bringing everyone together, I failed. So, for me, it's just a huge learning experience just to slow down and acknowledge that I'm human in all this, and then also take my steps going forward of reaching out to Danny and talking to those guys in Wick and reaching out to them and letting them know, hey, look, basketball can end tomorrow. I care about you guys as a human being. I know this is a competitive environment, but let's move past this and let's go forward. Marcus, Terry, all those guys just want to be great. We were all internally trying to be great, and I don't think we were trying to be great as a team to meet at the top. And that happens in team environments all the time, whether people want to admit it or not. There are personal goals that everyone has, family, friends, media, telling everyone, hey, you need to be doing this, you need to be doing that. In actuality, none of that crap matters. So everyone has a role to play, and you see the most experienced teams end up winning the championship because they all buy in and sacrifice. It's usually the oldest teams in the league that make it there every single year because they don't have to deal with the same youthful expectations that are unrealistic for players that really have to earn different things in this league to be at that level. So, including myself.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For highlights and analysis, check out the ESPN app. And for live streaming and premium content, check out ESPN+.